Hi, my name is Brooke Markoviches, founder and CEO here at Allobee, mom of two, and a former freelancer just like you. Today I'm going to be talking about how to navigate pregnancy and maternity leave as a freelancer. I've shared tips and tricks with freelancers on how to overcome overwhelm, take action, and be successful for years, as well as was very successful in my own freelancing career before starting a tech startup called Allobee that focuses on supporting freelancers and micro businesses. And in today's episode, I'm sharing how to work throughout pregnancy and a guide to maternity leave as a freelancer. I know there's a lot of nuances there, and I want to make sure that I can give you my best tips of how I did it as a freelancer and a business owner, as well as how many of our freelancers here at Allobee and business owners who have hired our freelancers have navigated maternity leave successfully with these tips. So let's dive in. Tip number 1, sharing your pregnancy and maternity plans with your clients. So this is super important. You need to make a plan. And we joke here that one of our team members that had gone on maternity leave made like a rock star plan that we just want everybody to base theirs off of, because it's really important to make sure that your team that you're leaving behind or your clients that are paying you feel supported and taken care of, because ultimately they want you to be able to go on maternity leave. They want to support you throughout your pregnancy. Hopefully you found really great clients that really do feel that way, but most people do. They want to support that, but they need a little bit from you. And so one of my best suggestions for how to share these maternity and pregnancy plans with your client is you don't need to let them know like right when you get pregnant, but giving them a decent heads up that you're going to go on this maternity leave lets them know, hey, 1, she's prepared. 2, she's going to help me get to where I need to go. And it's less stressful when there's a time that's going to be allotted before you're going to actually, go on maternity leave. It's going to give you time to make sure that you get these tasks handed over to somebody else if that needs to happen, or that you're going to help prepare your client's business for you being gone and your own business. So one thing that you can do for this is create Loom videos of the task that you do on a daily basis, okay? So this is really simple. Let's say you are a podcast editor. So you can go through and make videos on exactly what you do. So maybe what is going to happen while you're on maternity leave is you go ahead and get that client's episode list, taken care of as much as you can. But maybe someone's going to need to come in and take over for you for like a few of those episodes while you're on maternity leave. So make Loom videos on exactly your process and steps for that specific client and put it in a Google Doc or put it into a place where someone can refer back to that. And this is going to be really easy because you can do this throughout months on end before you go on maternity leave, but you have that document ready to hand over to somebody at any time. One thing that you probably, if you're not a first-time mom, you probably know that you should be prepared a few weeks before you actually are near your due date, because who knows what's going to happen. And so the earlier you can be supported and ready to go on maternity leave, the less stress that will be there. But these Loom videos can be super helpful. It's also really great to share with a client that, you have all of these steps in place. And they might be bringing somebody on else to hire. So during the time that you're gone. So who knows what the situation is, but these Loom videos can be very helpful. The other thing that you can do is to take an analysis of your time on what you do in a day, week, and month. So especially if you're going to be having a virtual assistant or some other person helping you with your business while you're gone, knowing exactly what you do and how much time is going into it per day, per week, per month can really help you figure out how much support you're going to need and whether you can afford all of that support. And then also what's essential. What can wait until you're back, or what can you batch before you're gone? So that's another really big thing, is what can you batch and prepare for before you actually leave for maternity leave. So going back to that idea of a podcast editor or content creator in general, or someone that's supporting with that, you can just say, hey, if you have all of this content to me by this day, I can batch this and get this ready for you, and it will be planned out for the whole time that I'm on maternity leave. Or maybe you can help them figure out a way to get to that place so you can help to support them more accurately. But batching that content or batching the work that you need to be done, that needs to be done, is really valuable to help and support you with getting that maternity plan together. Also, just letting people know exactly when you're leaving and exactly when you're coming back, and if there's any specifics that they need to know. The more information you can give them, the better prepared they will feel, the less stress they will feel, and you will feel less stressful because you've set up that plan. So that's number one, sharing your pregnancy and maternity plans with your clients. Number two is to practice self-care while pregnant and on leave. So I know there's so much information about self-care out there. This does not have to be like always going to get a massage and getting your nails done or whatever. This really can just be the fact that you are taking some time to do some deep breathing, that you are taking some time to read a good book, or that you're just taking care of yourself, putting your feet up because of pregnancy swelling. Maybe you just go take a walk outside, or you do get a pregnancy massage or a meal out with your partner and a mocktail, whatever that might be. But it's really hard being a mom of two here, made it through that whole process. I have a 4 and 7-year-old. But it can be really difficult. So making time for yourself is essential. And if you start doing that during pregnancy, even if it's not your first, making time during pregnancy will make sure that you at least get some little time in once you actually had a baby and you're on maternity leave. So make sure that you're taking some time for yourself, and as well as taking some planned time for yourself once you're actually on that maternity leave. The next one, number 3, is preparing for challenges while being a working parent. So maybe you were working a traditional 9-to-5 up to this point, and this will be the first time that you've been working as a parent and a freelancer. Or maybe you are a freelancer and you've been freelancing for a while, and you have not, been pregnant up to this point as a freelancer. There's can be a whole bunch of different challenges, especially if this is your first time, but also if this is just your second or third child, or your situation is different, whatever it might be. But a lot of challenges can come up. And so my best suggestions to handle these challenges are to time block. So let's say you're back from maternity leave, or you are still pregnant and you're struggling with the meeting or the appointments you need to go to, or how you're feeling with first trimester sickness. Block out your time and make sure that you're saving time for you, for that number 2, that self-care. Make sure you're giving yourself grace in between these time blocks, and you're not trying to cram yourself with so much work. You should do that all the time, but definitely when you're pregnant. Also, decide what your ideal situation looks like. So as you're planning for maternity leave and you're pregnant, especially if this is your first child too, what do you want your situation to look like? If you're freelancing or you have your own business, you likely have done that because you want freedom and flexibility. So do you want to be able to drop your kid off at childcare and then pick them up and be present with them after school or whatever after daycare? Do you want your weekends to be totally free? What does your ideal situation look like? And you need to cling to that and hold it tight, because it can change so rapidly as a freelancer or a business owner. And I want to make sure that you really set that apart. So take some time to journal on that or think through that. But what does your ideal situation look like? The next tip would be, what support do you have? So do you have a lot of support or very little support? And then really looking at, is it realistic that I can keep up with my same client load when I have a child? A lot changes when we have babies. So can I keep up with that? Do I want to keep up with that? What support do I need to actually take care of that? Do I need to pay for daycare? Do I need to pay for a nanny? Do I need to have a mother's helper? I know when I was freelancing early on, I didn't have as much childcare, very little, if none. And so I worked at different odd times, but I was doing web design and development, and I could do that. And so that was why I stuck with web design and development for a long time. So it was very flexible around my career as a parent. And so maybe you need to upskill in something that would help open up some more flexibility for the work that you want to do and the time that you want to spend with your kid. The other tip for preparing for these challenges would be to sign up for platforms like Allobee or others that have these shorter jobs and very project-bound times instead of the longer-term retainer work, because you might not want to take on a ton of extra projects or a ton of extra longer-term client work when you've just become a new parent, or even when you're pregnant. Maybe you want to scale back a little bit. Maybe you just want the flexibility to pick up jobs when you need to and not this long-term work with clients or very big projects that could be taken on. So make sure that you get signed up for those and start, interacting on those, figuring out which way that they can be supportive to you. Okay, my last tip for today. So my last one would be remaining productive during pregnancy. So it's going to be hard to do that, especially if you have really bad morning sickness. But it can be done. And I think that it's really important, like I mentioned, to block out that time, but also to create your workspace in a way that fits you for pregnancy. So I know when I was pregnant, I did some work on my couch, or I would sit in different places or take calls while walking. Just make sure that you're setting up your space to feel good for you, whether it's a ergonomic workspace for yourself, a better chair, a standing desk, a sitting, whatever you need to make yourself feel comfortable. That's really important. Also, embrace automation. So definitely while you're in your pregnancy, you want to be able to automate as many things as you can and get them off of your plate. So when it comes to maternity leave, that's already done. So automate, and get someone to help set that up for you. Get a technical assistant from Allobee or someone else to help support you and get that automation set up. Also, make changes to your daily schedule and schedule in breaks. You want to make sure that it's not just that self-care time, but also literally just taking time to have a break, stand up, move around, go get some water, whatever you need to do, schedule in those breaks. Those are my top tips. So number 1, share your pregnancy and maternity plans with your clients. Number 2, practice self-care while pregnant and on maternity leave. Number 3, preparing for challenges while you're working pregnant, as well as working after you have your baby. So prepare for those challenges as a working parent and working while you're pregnant. And then the last one is number 4, remain productive during pregnancy. Try to knock out a bunch of this stuff so you set yourself up for success for once you have your child. And then if you're listening to this and you're preparing for pregnancy and having a baby, congratulations. Freelancing is a phenomenal thing to do while you have a kid and raise a child. It is absolutely one of the best things and one that I suggest to so many people. It was definitely a huge thing for me and how I've been able to have my kids and raise them. One major perk of freelancing is setting your own schedule and being your own boss. And I think this is something that's very valuable, especially to caregivers. So pregnancy and maternity leave are the perfect times to put those benefits into practice. So set some time aside to formulate a plan this week. I want you to really put this into action. So take some time to formulate a plan and think through the tips that I've shared with you today. Feel free to even email them into us at hello@allobee.com. Let us look over your plan and give you suggestions. And if you need support with outsourcing and automation, hiring one of our fully vetted freelancers here at Allobee, feel free to reach out to us. Go to allobee.com and go ahead and hire somebody today. Thanks for watching today's video. It's been great to spend time with you. I hope that this was helpful for you to prepare to have a productive pregnancy and maternity leave as a freelancer. If you liked today's video, be sure to subscribe and share it out with others. And if you need support as a freelancer, a freelance community, and you need a tool to help you run your business, go to allobee.com/plus and subscribe to our free trial. Until next time, I hope that you will take these tips, put them into action, and start gaining momentum in your business and life. Have a good day.